Everyone is chasing shortcuts, but progress, that takes work. This legato routine builds real skill no matter your level. After last week's alternate picking routine, I got a lot of requests from you guys about a similar one to build your legato as well. That's not a lie actually, I didn't get a single request, but I figured I should make one anyway because the routine that I showed you last week, it's so easy to get into. And what you actually said though, and this is all true, is that you really liked it. So while I didn't get the legato request, here it is, whether you want it or not. But seriously, if you're serious about alternate picking, working on your legato will only help you. So don't skip this just because you want to sound like, top tier Paul Gilbert, which is awesome, obviously. But I made this mistake myself. I would just do the working on the picking stuff and then realizing that, hang on, you use both hands when you play. As Paul Gilbert said, if this is a steering wheel and this is the gas, don't hit the gas if you can't steer. So the fretting hand is super important. Before we dive in, if you want the full tab for this routine, it's in the lesson vault. You'll also get access to over 200 other free lessons when you sign up. There's no spam, just real stuff that helps you get better. Links below, grab it now so you can follow along. Alright, so if you didn't check out last week's picking routine, do that, but do that after this video. They're gonna be very similar in the actual organization here. So we're gonna do 3 different sections: a single string section, adjacent string, 2-string section, and a 6-string section. And obviously if you have a 7-string guitar or an 8-string guitar, just more work for you to do. So don't do only 6 strings for the last bit, right? You have to adapt it to your particular instrument. So with that said, I'm gonna show everything here from the 5th fret because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered to move the camera around. I'm using an iPhone here. I'm not really a YouTuber, I'm just here to help you get better at guitar. So keep that in mind when you ask for fancy on-screen tabs and whatever. That's not really gonna help you much. You have all the tabs available anyway. So let's get started here on the 5th fret, but you want to do this from the 1st fret all the way up, as I'm gonna show you. All right, so we're gonna use 2 different fingerings here, 1, 2, 4, and 1, 3, 4. And the reason for that is that when you play a scale, any scale really, you're going to be using either 1, 2, 4 or 1, 3, 4. So by getting these guys in shape, you will be able to play any scale shape you want. And it doesn't really matter if you're doing a stretcher shape, 1, 2, 4 is still going to be 1, 2, 4. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get going here. The first sequence is going to be this. It's a 6-note sequence, and if we number the notes from left to right, 1, 2, 3, it's going to be 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And when you move up the fretboard here, you want to make sure that you don't pick anything, right? And you have to be really careful when you switch to the next position so you actually get a clean position shift like this. So you're gonna go, so that needs to be a pull off, right? So, right, and then to sort of scrunch your hand together. And you want to keep this sequence going all the way up to the 19th fret is what I suggest, depending on how many frets you have on your guitar. I have 24 here. And like I mentioned in the alternate picking video, if you hate yourself, you can go up to the 21st fret. I go up to the 19th fret and I'm happy with that. So you can decide what you want to do. Now, once you get up here, we gotta go down again, but in a different sequence. And again, I'm gonna show the sequence down here. So it's kind of a variation on what we're already doing, so a 6-note pattern. So we're gonna go like this instead. So again, if I number the notes from left to right, 1, 2, 3, it's gonna be 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. But then you want to move that down. The same thing goes here where when you switch position, you want to make sure you get it right and don't get some weird sound in between. So if I start here, So the switch here is going to be on a hammer. So if I show that down here again. So you don't want to go and then try to, you know, get some sliding sound or whatever. You really want to keep the legato intact. So that's the idea, and you want to do this on all 6 strings, in this case, on this guitar. And what I do is I go through everything with 1, 2, 4 first. So I start on the B string, go up with the first sequence, we can call that the A sequence, go down with the B sequence. And then you do that on all 6 strings, and then you do it again, starting with 1, 3, 4. Now it's going to be exactly the same thing, so again, same type of thinking, 1, 2, 3 notes. So we're not talking about fingers here. Same type of sequence, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. All the way up, and then you go down again with the same 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 sequence. You get the idea. And the tempo here needs to be slow enough so everything is perfect. And when it comes to legato, it's very easy to overdo it. At least I did that for a long time before I realized, like, oh, hang on, this won't work when I speed it up. So that's when I started to lighten up on my the pressure here in my fretting end. So please do yourself a favor, just find how little pressure you need to get the notes to sound clean. And again, use a metronome here. I suggest a tempo around maybe 80 BPMs, 8th notes, so around. Just focus on everything being as even as possible. Another thing that will be really helpful here is to try to get a feel for where your fingertips are fretting the string. So you try to keep that consistent. Like a drummer would hit the snare drum, for example. You will see a small circle if it's a good drummer. If it's all over the place, you might want to look for a new drummer. Only half kidding. All right, so that's the first part of the whole thing. Now we're going to move on to 2 strings at a time. So again, I'm going to show it from here, and we have the same fingerings. We have 1, 2, 4 and 1, 3, 4. The sequence goes like this. So it's quite a lot of notes, right? Then you work yourself all the way up to the 19th fret again, and then when we go back, I'm going to show it here again so you can see the sequence. You just do the same thing but in reverse. You're going to start at the top note. Now, as with the single string version, you just do this on all string groups again. So there's going to be G, B, D, G, A, D, and E, A. So if we do it on the G string here. And what I want you to look out for here is that you don't overpick. Don't go. Now, I use hybrid picking. But you don't need to use that at all because you have so many notes per string here, so you can get away with, you know, picking however you want. But try to keep the notes at the same dynamic level as you do the exercise. There's nothing wrong with you know, adding some pinch harmonics or whatever when you actually play. But for now, we're just trying to build that control, so we try to keep it as level as possible. So the goal here, which is very hard to achieve, when you're playing when you're playing without any type of backing track, is we're trying to make it sound like everything is legato and nothing is picked. That's going to be very difficult, of course, but we can definitely get the picking dynamics down to quite a minimum degree here. Now, once you're done with 1, 2, 4, you do the same thing with 1, 3, 4. And just to be clear here, obviously you always want to start on the 1st fret, go up to the 19th fret, as I explained in the beginning. I'm just showing it here at the 5th fret. because it's easier and it's sort of right in your face, right? So that's that. All string groups again. All right, so now we're gonna do the last section here, which is all strings. So for me, it's gonna be 6 strings. Again, starting across the 5th fret here, 1, 2, 4. Now we're gonna do groups of 7. And as I suggested here, do 8th notes, around 80 BPMs, right? You're gonna find that when you cross to the next string, it's gonna be on the upbeat. And a lot of people get thrown from this. They basically want to go, which is of course ridiculous, because you can't let the number of notes per string dictate your rhythm, right? So you want to get used to this. Right, so it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and so on. Right, so you don't need to count it like that, but you need to make sure that you keep the flow of even 8th notes when you do this. So that's the ascending version here. So we're just going to go on each string. Ironically, I'm pausing in between here now, but I'm just showing you what to do on each string. Now we're going to shift up and go down like this. Now, if you have any issues with the pull-offs, which I've seen a lot of people have, is to make sure to prepare the next finger every time you change string here. So look at this. Because I need to do this anyway, right? Because if I don't put these two down at the same time, then I have to put, basically I'm going to have a movement that's not associated with a sound. So if I just go from here, 1, 2, 3, if I don't do what I'm suggesting you to do, it's going to be like this. You have 1, 2, 3, which has no sound, and then 4. So we have 4 events and only 3 sounds. Whereas if we do this, 1, 2, 3. See the difference? With 1, 3, 4. So this makes a huge difference when you try to get this smooth. And this is another reason why you want to practice this so slowly, because it's really hard to focus on this stuff when you're trying to play it really fast. So if you had trouble with the pull-offs, please give this a try. I'm 100% sure that will help you a lot. Now for this one, we're just going to go down the same way as we went up the fretboard. So once you've done 1, 2, 4, you do the same thing with 1, 3, 4. And don't do that, absolutely not. Just keep it at a very, very relaxed and perfect pace. So that's the full routine. And if you want a slightly longer routine, you can extend the first single string part by doing this. You take the same sequence as we've been doing. So the first one. And you do that all the way up, and then when you go back down, you do the same thing. So and then you do the next sequence, so the B sequence. So basically doing that will teach you to move any way you want on the fretboard. But I didn't include that in the beginning because it can feel a bit overwhelming, especially if you're new to this. So if you're new to this and or you have less time, you're absolutely fine just doing the A version going up the string and the B version going down. But for you overachievers out there, you can try this variation as well. All right, so if you like this stuff and you haven't checked out my alternate picking version of this, you can check that out right here. And also don't forget to grab the tabs by going to the Lesson Vault link down in the description.